Good morning, friends, family, whoever is at the receiving end of this. Good to see you. Today I'm finally doing a video I've been meaning to do for ages, showing you guys all of the stuff I've been creating over the last year that I've been traveling, because it's accumulated, and I think you can really see nicely how my painting style has developed over the last year. This video also contains a little sponsorship because a company had sent me some paints which I was really in need of, so I'll show you that at the end of the video. But yeah, sketchbook videos have always been one of my favorite to watch, so I'm excited for this. Alright, but let's start at the beginning. I started gluing stuff into this book because it's just kind of nice to give your paintings a little bit of a home and appreciate it more. So first page we have just a little sketch of a vase with some flowers in it. The fish was actually in a pond outside, but I took the creative freedom to add him into the bottle. This was in a hostel I was staying in Sri Lanka. And then I really liked this next page. I was drawing this squid while I was sitting at the beach, cuddling with all the little stray dogs there. It was great. And I always really like just interpreting my drawings later on, because like here I really like the contrast of having like the nice calm set up rocks in the foreground, you know, and then like the wildness of the ravens that are flying around in the background. Then we've got this drawing of this old man that was sitting next to me on a long train ride in Sri Lanka. I took a picture of him and then sketched it later on, but yeah, it was some really good conversations. I'm really liking the coffee kind of colors in this one. And then there's a little kite, because it was somehow kite flying season in Sri Lanka and all the kids had like built their own little ones and you could see them all across the sky. It was so beautiful, in a bit of a Polaroid style. That was it from Sri Lanka, and now we're moving on to Vietnam. These two actually I didn't make at the same time. One's from Hoi An and the other one is from way later on in lockdown. Not my usual colors, it's a bit dark, but it's cool to see like similar style but like months apart and like compare, you know. Then we have one of my favorite pages. This is when I first got to Katba and I just fell so in love with the island. Wow, with this wonderful view onto Halong Bay, and you've gone at islands as far as you can see. Some butterflies, which there's so many of in Katba, the typical shells you would find everywhere, and then yeah, there's some things dangling around in the cafe. It just gives me such a feeling of home, really. And then the dragonfly I actually found in Hoi An. It was sitting on my shoe, asleep or something. And then I found an old songbook, and I took out some pages to work with. And this one's about Hoi An, so I thought it would go really well. Next one, we're going in a bit more of like an illustrative style kind of thing, hey? So we have this moth. It's a lunar moth, so I put a moon cycle above it. And my friend Heather actually got this as a tattoo, which made me so incredibly happy. We all collected money so she could get it for her birthday. Yeah, super proud, and I'm just so glad to be seeing it on her skin. Then we got this little nature boy that I drew sometime in Woodstock, based on the facial structure that I found like painted on a wall in Brighton, and now I keep reusing it. I usually find it really hard to go into more of an abstract or comic style kind of thing, because I'm always very about realism, and I'm slowly trying to move away from it a little bit, but it's difficult, it really is. Then we have Hanoi. There is a self-portrait of mine. I was just walking around, found some flowers that I picked up from the trash, and there was this Vietnamese photographer who asked if he could take some pictures of me, send them to me later, and then I decided to draw it. Not the best self-portrait obviously, but it's just kind of nice to have me captured in that moment with like the bag that I really loved but don't have anymore, or my pants, or the shirt that I've lost. This one is a sketch that I did in one of my favorite cafes here, and I'm really proud of it actually, because it was my first attempt of just like drawing a kind of real life scene, or like drawing perspective in a room. So I was just sitting around alone and I was like watching these Vietnamese hipster kids playing guitar and all, so I just took the chance to quickly sketch them out. Did most of the colors later on, didn't have the time for it, but Yeah, for my first attempt I'm really happy, and it's just such a good practice. Then we've got a page of animal friends. Here's this little buffalo. When my mom was here, we were just like sitting and watching them bathe for ages, and they just like love taking little dives and like coming back up, I think to like hide from the sun or protect from the flies. And then I was sitting at the beach on Katba at night time, and I saw this like white owl flying really close to me, so I looked up what kind they have here, and it's kind of like a little Hedwig from Harry Potter. And at this point I left Katba and we went into lockdown, and I feel like you can really see it in my drawings because I wasn't surrounding myself with nature anymore, so I feel like it was a lot more incorporated into my art because I was lacking it so badly. So yeah, we have this one, this little fairy person at a sunset with their nice big leaf. They have these massive leaves here. Oh shit, nature is just so much bigger here, you know. And then this lady with a little sleeping toad on her head and some plants and a snake and a butterfly. Yeah, I really feel like lockdown got my creative juices flowing in a sense, you know. Then this is one of my favorite pages. It's a bit more tribal, I want to say. I love her with all the different eyes. It was like based of a actually like Japanese person with like a face painting, but I kind of took it in a different direction. Yeah, eyes are always fascinating to draw. Hey, I think everyone has that. And then we've got this like goat skull mask, but it's not supposed to be as dark and there's no weird symbols in it. I just like copied a really nice one that I found on a gate here in Hanoi, and I fell in love with it. So I really enjoyed doing like the tattoos on the back and like making them match to the body. Like it's really fun thing to draw. And then I also did this one on brown paper at the time. She also has like paint on her body, that was fun to do. And I really like the little birds because they all look so curious and have personality. It didn't fit on my book, so it's on my wall now. And yeah, we're moving back to Katba because we got to go back for like 2 months. And this one, actually quite sad. I found a dead bird in one of the things in jungle camp, and then I walked it and took it to a place where it could like rest in peace. And it was just laying there in the sunshine, it looked so beautiful, so I took a minute to sketch it because it was just a really lovely scene actually. Yeah. It's always a bit strange being confronted with death like that, even if it's just a small creature, but I think art is a good way to be honoring it through. Then we have all of these sweet little sleepy seeds. We went on a nice long jungle walk with the girls, and you could just see so many little fairy creatures everywhere, really like organisms I've just never seen in my life. Yeah, and I really like these guys up close, they're super sweet. That was fun to do. Then we got some portraits, like African inspired. I really like playing around with the jewelry and all. It's been fun. I always feel a bit strange, I have to say, because I don't want to be like mixing cultures or like misrepresenting anything, you know, like there's a bit of the discomfort in that. This is already the last page of the book. I was just kind of experimenting with markers a little bit, random portrait, and then this is my friend at like a live drawing we did. I modeled for like 1 or 2 as well, and it's like really cool, just like overcoming your fears of being naked in front of someone, like especially if it's in such a like nice and professional environment, and like your body really just becomes art and there's like nothing sexualized about it, you know. Yeah, so end of this book. And then all the other ones I did on a bit bigger paper. But since I really liked always having 2 on a page, I started like drawing 2 matching pieces on purpose, you know, because it's nice kind of playing like with the opposites and duality in that sense. Then the next one I did, I based on this like pendant that I bought in a yoga studio, and it was quite expensive, but I just needed it. I fell in love with it, and it was like this raven looking down on this koi fish. So I did like the personification of them in a sense. And it's just nice having like the yin yang again, and like the calm and the wild, you know, as opposites. I really enjoyed drawing the koi fish. They're beautiful, and it was nice after like studying them for a while, just being able to like freehand draw it and like really fit to the body, you know, so it flows nicely. Yeah, actually one of my favorite works, I think, or at least that I enjoyed most doing. Same with the raven. It was nice to like just get really messy in it and play around. Yeah, with the dogs. Next one I did was sort of like a tribute to the moon, because I started paying attention to the moon cycles a lot more. It's just nice to like ground yourself every 2 weeks. I'm really content with how this turned out, and I really enjoyed drawing all the little mushrooms and how you can like see the connection to the earth and like the drive of the energy up. It's been so nice in Vietnam just like experiencing like fireflies a lot more, or like the glowing plankton, you know, and like all the real life magic here. And I realized I wasn't drawing enough men, so I drew these two men. First the one with the feather facing it, and then the other one with like a hawk on his shoulder. I like analyzing it later, you know, like the one on the left, he's like all focused on this one feather, you know, but doesn't see the three ones he has in his head. While the other one is like more open awareness, you know, and like looking out, you know, instead of just like being like cramped up on one little detail in a sense. Then I wanted to play with animals a bit more, so I did this girl with a spider on her shoulder. Had a lot of fun drawing the tattoos, like a bit more abstract. And then the counterpiece is like, I don't love the colors yet, and it's not completely finished, but her with a snake wrapped around her neck. And then if I had to interpret them, you know, like the one with the spider would be kind of more avoidance, you know, like you have it on your back and you're not really facing it, and then the snake would be like confrontation and like transformation and growth, you know, shedding of all stuff. Yeah. And then I've got one last dual piece I want to show you. So on the one side we have him with the butterflies on his nose. Oh, they were so fun. They're so cute to draw. He's kind of like representing the sun and the masculine energy, even though he's like very soft in himself, but doesn't always need to be harsh, you know. And then on the other side I do her with moths flying around, you know, at nighttime. Kind of look like lunar moths, but I've changed them a little bit. Yeah, representing the feminine and the moon. And this one was so much fun, actually. I haven't finished the eyes yet, but she's eventually going to be having eyes. And with this one, as you can maybe tell, like the colors are so amazing. I started using the paint that they've sent me. I really always wanted to try out gouache paint, because what I've been using for all my drawings since traveling, like a friend of mine just gave me this like tiny acrylic set, which was great at first, but like by now it's all dried out and colors missing and this and that, and I would just water it down a lot so it kind of goes into watercolor. And gouache is kind of like a nice in-between. It's like very easy to water down, but you can also like apply it really thick if you wanted to, so it's like a great mix for both. Yeah, and I got this like massive set now with all these different colors that's gonna last me forever. And they've also sent me some, what is it called, colored pencils. Yeah, a big set of colored pencils, and I hadn't used them in ages because I've been just focused on one style of drawing, so it's been really nice to just like try out different things and see what I can do there. I just did some like little fairy creatures. Can't wait to like jump into a bigger project with them, because you can go so realistic with colored pencils. Like it really has all the possibilities. And then third thing, they also sent me a big box of like colored markers, which I'm gonna use to try and get more into kind of pattern things. Doodling, that's what I really need to be doing. I don't doodle enough. Like I don't give my creative brain like an outlet to just flow, you know. I'm always very like structured or like trying to do things perfectly and nice, but really you just need to be playing around and just seeing what happens. But yeah, they run through an online shop, so I'm gonna be putting the link in the description, which is quite good now in Corona when shops are still closed. it is always a real treat to be working with the right materials and the right paper, you know. I do also believe that like you can work with whatever fucked up paint or colors or pens, you know, as long as you are creating and you're making art, you know. You could be painting with coffee or anything really that gives you a medium to work with. I really hope you enjoyed this little excursus through my art progress of the last year and just my year in general, I guess, and like how I've changed and my work has changed. I'm always really curious to see what other people create, so like if you have anything you want to send me on Instagram, I would be so incredibly happy to see. I hope this inspires you to make some more art and like use the time wisely, especially if you're still stuck at home. Like this is what you want to be doing. So yeah, lots of love from me. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and if it's not wonderful yet, I hope you can turn it around and end it wonderfully. Yeah, stay well. Bye bye.